What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today I am super excited to start our Forbidden Light coverage. The newest set, it's released officially today, May 4th, and it brings a lot of exciting new cards, including Malamar and Ultra Necrozma-GX, which is the deck we are going to cover today. So I have up on the screen a 51 card skeleton. So a 51 card deck, and then we're going to at the end talk about what you could possibly include as the last 9 cards to complete out this deck as a 60 card deck, depending on how you want to build it. And I will also show my personal 60 that I've been testing. So without further ado, let's start looking at these cards. So we have Ultra Necrozma-GX, possibly the most hyped, I think it's safe to say the most hyped card out of the Forbidden Light set. So it is a basic GX Ultra Beast with 190 HP, and it's Dragon type. So there's no Pokemon with resistance to Dragon, so that is a good type to have. It's also a good type to have because of Mysterious Treasure, but we'll talk about that later. So it only has 2 attacks, which is different for GX Pokemon. Usually they have an ability and 2 attacks or 3 attacks. But I think this guy gets it done with just the 2. So Photon Geyser, 20 damage. Okay, sorry. First of all, a Psychic and a Metal. So Malamar accelerates Psychic Energy, and so we'll just have to get that Metal Energy attached in a different way. So for a Psychic and Metal, Photon Geyser, 20 damage base, plus discard all basic Psychic Energy cards from this Pokemon. This attack does 80 more damage for each card you discarded in this way. So if you have 1 Psychic Energy, it does 100 without any other damage amplifiers. 2 Psychic Energy, it does 180. 3 Psychic Energy does 260, and when we get through this deck, you'll see that we're accelerating energy in a few different ways possibly, so it's not very hard to get 2 or 3 energy on this guy. 2 energy, like I said, does 180 with a Choice Band or a Beast Energy as our Metal Energy. That is 210, which can knock out just about every relevant GX Pokemon in the format. So Ultra Necrozma is definitely a heavy hitter. We'll mention also that it is weak to Fairy, but I don't think Gardevoir will be very good after this set. Buzzwole gets even faster. Plus, against Ultra Necrozma, Gardevoir has to be able to chain attackers as fast as this deck can, and I don't think that's going to happen consistently. And it has 2 retreat, but our next Pokemon we'll be looking at, we don't really have to worry about retreat all the time because of it. So Dawn Wings Necrozma-GX, we have 1 of this in our skeleton here. So it's a basic Ultra Beast GX. 180 HP, Psychic type. I'm really happy this card is getting its time to shine. I think it's a really, really great card. So ability Invasion. Also note that ability name is so cool because like the Ultra Beasts invaded. It's called Invasion. Yeah. Once during your turn before your attack, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch it with your active Pokemon. So people that are familiar with the old Keldeo EX and the old Archetype Ray Eels EX, with Rayquaza EX and Electric, this should start looking familiar to you. So with Invasion, you can just bring it up from the bench to your active spot, and if you have a Float Stone, just retreat to anything. So as long as abilities are working and you have a Float Stone, everything kind of has free retreat. Excuse me. Its first attack, Dark Flash, for 3 Psychic Energy. Before Malamar, this attack didn't seem good, but with Malamar, this attack is really great. So, for 3 Psychic, Dark Flash, 120, this attack's damage isn't affected by resistance. So you're one-shotting Espeon GX, you're one-shotting Buzzwole GX, you're one-shotting Lucario GX, and because of the lack of resistance with this attack, you're 2-shotting Zoroark GX. Which does not matter too much, unfortunately, because of Dawnwing's Necrozma its own dark weakness. But yeah, the 120 is really great with the psychic typing because you're one-shotting a few really good cards that are in the current format. And then it's GX, Moon's Eclipse GX, for again 3 psychic energy, does 180 damage. Excuse me, 180 damage. You can only use this attack if you have more prizes, if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. And then its next statement is, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon, during your opponent's next turn. You may only use 1 GX attack per game. So, with a Choice Band, you are doing 210 with Moon's Eclipse GX. That means you're knocking out Golisopod, you're knocking out Lycanroc GX. Without a Choice Band, you're already knocking out Buzzwole and Lucario because of weakness. And then it prevents all damage done to Dawnwings next turn. So against Buzzwole, where they want to take care of this Dawnwings really quickly because it can take a lot of prizes really quick because of the weakness, they can't really get rid of it next turn unless they Lycanroc something else up, then Guzma up the Dawnwings to get rid of its effect for Moon's Eclipse GX. So Moon's Eclipse GX, up until now, wasn't really seen. I think you'll be seeing a lot more of it coming from players using this Malamar deck. Also note that its resistance is fighting, which even makes it better against Buzzwole and Lucario and Lycanroc. And its retreat is 2, which should not matter too much because of the whole, excuse me, the whole invasion retreat with Float Stone thing. And we're also playing Guzma, so shouldn't be getting Pokemon stuck up there. Next, we are playing with 4 Inkay. This card is 60 HP basic. Hypnosis is cool to mention. For a Psychic, your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. And its retreat is 1, weak to Psychic. So we're only playing this guy, I'm sorry, 3 Inkay in our skeleton. And we have 3 Malamar as well, and that's why we're playing Inkay. So it's a stage 190 HP Psychic type. And this ability is the whole point of the deck. Like, this ability is what makes the deck run. So Psychic Recharge, once during your turn, you may attach a Psychic Energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. Excuse me, sorry about all the yawning. So a Psychic Energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. Its attack is nothing to really mention. Weak to Psychic, 2 retreat, cost no resistance. But, so, if you have 2 Malamar up, you can put 2 Psychic Energies a turn onto your benched Ultra Necrozma, attach an energy, retreat to the Ultra Necrozma with the use of Invasion and then Float Stone out, and your Ultra Necrozma is doing 260 damage without any Choice Band or Beast Energy adding damage. Even if you only have 1 Malamar, you attach the Psychic Recharge from the discard pile, another Psychic from the hand, and you're doing 180. Sorry about that. Just a little alert from my computer. So, yeah, so Malamar charges up Ultra Necrozma. It also charges up Dawnwings Necrozma. In a pinch, you could use it with Lele. But you have 2 really great attackers here, so I don't think you'll be doing that. Excuse me. Next we have Mew from Fates Collide. So Mew, sorry, let me just adjust my mic real quick. There we go. So Mew from Fates Collide, its ability is Memories of Dawn. This Pokemon can use the attacks of any of your basic Pokemon in play. You still need the necessary energy to use each attack. It has free retreat, which is great, 50 HP. It's okay, it's not a GX or EX. So Mew is here as your 1 prize attacker, so you can copy Ultra Necrozma's attacks or Dawnwings Necrozma's attacks. So you would Psychic Recharge and attach your energy to Mew. The only thing is it can't use Beast Energy like these 2 can, but that is fine. So you can essentially use that huge attack for 180 or 260 from the Photon Geyser from Ultra Necrozma, but on a little 1 prize Pokemon, and then this is their new threat that they have to take out instead of going for 2 prizes. so that is really good. It also gets around things that can't be attacked by GX Pokemon. And again, it's Psychic, so it hits weakness on all those Pokemon I mentioned. Next, for our last Pokemon of the skeleton for this deck, we have 2 Tapu Lele-GX. 3 would be nice, but bench space gets really tight with this deck, so I don't think you'll ever be using more than 1, possibly a second later in the game for that last Guzma or something. So when we go over the additional cards you can round this deck out with those 9 blank spots that I have here, you could always add an extra Tapu Lele if you feel it necessary. I've played a little over a dozen games with just the 2 Tapu Lele-GXs, and I've been liking it so far. So if you guys don't already know, Tapu Lele-GX is a basic GX with 170 HP and it's Psychic type. Its ability is when you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench during your turn, you may search your deck for a supporter card, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So this is our first turn, and possibly later in the game it's our consistency card that tutors out a supporter. A lot of times you'll see it getting that Brigette turn 1 for Zoroark decks. We do play a lot of supporters in here, so we'll talk about what supporters to get when. And then it has Energy Drive. This attack does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. This damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance, so a classic X-Ball attack that can be really good if your opponent's Pokemon has a lot of energy on it, or you can get a lot of energy onto this Tapu Lele-GX. And its GX attack, Tapu Cure, heal all damage from 2 of your bench Pokemon. I'm not sure if you'll be using this attack all that often, but always be aware that it is an option that you have. It can be super helpful in a pinch. So let's start off our items and supporters and trainers and everything like that. We have 2 Beast Ring. So this is probably the best card out of Forbidden Light. It's absolutely nutty. It's an item card. You can play this card only if your opponent has exactly 3 or 4 prize cards remaining. So it does have a stipulation. Excuse me. So you search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Ultra Beasts. Then shuffle your deck. Insane. So your Dawnwings Necrozma and your Ultra Necrozma are both Ultra Beasts here. I'm not even going to go into how good it is in Buzzwole because that's another day in another video. But Beast Ring, so if your opponent just knocked out your Ultra Necrozma, they're down to 4 prizes, you can just get a Beast Ring, just, you know, try to draw into 1 or 2 of them, Beast Ring 2 Psychic Energy or a Psychic and a Steel to your Ultra Necrozma, then Psychic Recharge even more energy onto them, and you are more than good to go. So this card is absolutely nuts. That's why we have at least 2 in the deck, but you can always add more if you feel so obliged to. But when we get into what I'm putting in the deck, I also have some more Energy Excel. We're playing 3 Field Blower, so Garbotoxin absolutely shuts this deck down, so we have to have an out to it. Parallel City is also really bad to have against us when it's our bench down to 3, because we want we want 2 Malamars, we want an Ultra Necrozma, we want a Dawnwings, maybe we got to play a Lele, maybe we want to play a Lele in the future turns, we need a Mew or another Inkay as a backup. So Field Blower is really great to have for both Garbotoxin and opposing Parallel Cities. For Mysterious Treasure, another great card out of this set. Mysterious Treasure is also the name of an old Pokemon set. I think it was called EX Mysterious Treasures. But it was, I think it had a Zelf, Mesprit, and Uxie on the pack arts. That's enough of that little history quiz. But so Mystery Treasure does discard a card from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a Psychic or Dragon Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So this is basically an Ultra Ball, but you would discard 1 less card, and it can only search for a Psychic or Dragon Pokemon. And look at that. Our entire deck is Psychic or Dragon Pokemon. What do you know? So this card is super good. We have, speaking of super, we have one Super Rod. Shuffle 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. So getting back those steel energy, or getting back the attacker that you want to use in this matchup. Maybe your Mew, maybe you had to discard some Malamars with a bad Sycamore hand early on. You have Super Rod to get some things back. Next, we're only playing 2 Ultra Ball right now in this skeleton, but like I said, you can always add more if you want. We have the 4 Mysterious Treasures. The 2 Ultra Balls are just extra consistency if you need them. Ultra Balls pretty much in every deck, though. Discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So we essentially have 6 Ultra Balls right now in this list, since everything is Psychic or Dragon. We're playing 1 Brigette, so Brigette isn't always our ideal turn 1 supporter. Brigette is search your deck for 1 basic Pokemon EX or 3 basic Pokemon excluding EX and put them onto your bench, shuffle your deck afterwards. So this is really nice to get like an Ultra Necrozma and 2 Inkays, or a Dawnwings Necrozma and 2 Inkays, or maybe just even 3 Inkays. I'm going to skip over here to Lillie, since that's our other turn 1 supporter. Draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. If it's your first turn, draw until you have 8 cards in your hand. So if you can empty your hand down with things like Ultra Ball and Mysterious Treasures and benching Pokemon and attaching an energy, then maybe you want to Lele for a Lillie instead of a Brigette. If you already have an established board, maybe you'll get another Inkay off of the Lillie. So you have Lillie and Brigette. They're just for kind of different starting hands. We have 2 Cynthia. We're playing 9 draw supporters in total. So we're starting out here with 2 Cynthia. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 6 cards. Pretty vanilla supporter, but it's super good. We're playing 3 Guzma. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. If you do, switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So Guzma's in just about every deck aside from Greninja, I think. It's just so great to control which Pokemon's in your opponent's active spot, especially if you're going to be knocking it out. So yeah, and it also switches around your Pokemon, which is an extra bonus because switching around Pokemon is really good in this deck, because Malamar can only attach extra energy to benched Pokemon. Like I mentioned, we have the 1 Lillie, then we have 2 N. Each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck. Then each player draws cards for each of, or draws a card for each of his or her remaining prize cards. So N is better when your opponent takes the early lead than when you take the early lead, but it's still a draw supporter. If you want to shuffle your opponent's deck, you might play this over Cynthia. Then we have 4 Professor Sycamore, the best draw supporter in the game. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards. A lot of times you will want to discard your hand if you have some psychic energy in it, so it's in your discard pile so you can attach with Malamar. So not too much to say about this guy, just a great supporter. We have 1 Choice Band. The attacks of this Pokemon. The attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active GX or EX Pokemon. So, like I mentioned, with a Choice Band, Photon Geyser can hit 210 with discarding only 2 Psychic Energy. We have 2 Float Stone because, as I mentioned, we want to switch around our Pokemon a lot for Malamar's Psychic Recharge because it can only go to the bench, and Float Stone on Dawnwings Necrozma essentially gives everything free retreat. And then we will go on to the energy. So we have 1 Beast Energy Prism. This is the new Prism Energy card. The Prism Star rule is you can only have 1 copy in your deck, and if it would go to the discard pile, you put it in the Lost Zone instead. So this card provides 1 colorless energy, but while this card is attached to an Ultra Beast, it provides every type of energy, but only 1 at a time. The attacks of the Ultra Beast this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So it's essentially an energy and a Choice Band all in one, so it's really cool. And it can count as your Steel Energy for Ultra Necrozma, or your Psychic Energy for Dawnwings Necrozma. We have 3 Steel or Metal Energy, whichever you prefer to call it, because Ultra Necrozma does need it to attack. And then we have 7 Psychic Energies, because that is what adds all of that damage to Photon Geyser. So we have here a 51 card skeleton, and I'm going to go over some things that you could add to round out this deck. And if you don't want to make your own preference choices, I do have a full 60 card list at the end. So we have my first suggestion is a 3rd Ultra Necrozma-GX. I only have 2 in here, but if you want that to be your primary attacker, I would definitely add a 3rd Ultra Necrozma-GX into here, so you can get it consistently and you have enough for the entire game. Next is a 2nd Dawnwings Necrozma-GX. I currently am really liking 2 Ultra Necrozma and 2 Dawnwings Necrozma, so I suggest trying that out. Like I said, Dawnwings Necrozma-GX is underrated up until this set. It finally has its time to shine. I think it's a great card and a great attacker. Next is a 3rd Lele. You could always add a 3rd Lele for more consistency purposes, but I'm going to stick to 2 for now because bench space is really tight. So the next one, we have to go search for it because it's not already in our deck. So the next suggestion I have is Oricorio with Vital Dance. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. So originally I was going to use this Pokemon, but then I realized bench space is tight. But if you're not finding yourself having problems with bench space, I suggest trying this card out because it can search for your Metal Energy and your Psychic Energy. You can attach your Metal, maybe Ultra Ball or Mysterious Treasure away the Psychic, and then attach it with Psychic Recharge. I think it has really great synergy with this deck's Energy Excel engine, and also the fact that it needs 2 different kinds of energy attached to it. Next, I have, let's go 1/1 Malamar. So you could always add +1 Inkay, +1 Malamar to make it 4/4. Again, more consistency and get your Malamars and Inkays out more consistently, since they are the engine of the deck. I highly suggest playing with 4/4 Inkay and Malamar. I've been loving it absolutely. I don't want to change it at all. But some people are trying 4/3 or 3/3, so there's definitely merit to that. My last Pokemon suggestion is a Giratina promo. So Giratina, let me pull this bad boy up. Its ability, each Pokemon break has no abilities. This includes abilities of its previous evolution. Sorry. So this is here as a Greninja break counter. At the moment, I do think that it gives you a better chance against Greninja, but I don't think that it auto wins the matchup. Also worth noting is that it's resistant to fighting, and you can use its Shadow Claw attack in this deck because of your Psychic Energy acceleration. So next we're going to go over to trainers. So my first suggestion for a trainer card is Professor's Letter. So just like that Oricorio, except it's not searchable by Mysterious Treasure and by Ultra Ball. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. So the same exact reason excuse me, sorry. So the same exact reason I suggested using Oricorio, that's the same reason you would use this Professor's Letter card. Next, so you could just add more Ultra Ball. If you feel like you're not searching out your Leles or your Inkays or whatever it may be consistently enough, you could add a 3rd or 4th Ultra Ball to make the deck even more consistent. Something I was iffy on at first, but I've become akin to it, is adding some Max Elixirs. So Max Elixir, look at the top 6 cards of your deck and attach a basic energy card you find there to a basic Pokemon on your bench. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So it's just another form of energy acceleration. It's really good if your opponent takes out a Malamar, or it looks like you're in a tight spot, but you have a Max Elixir that can really get you out of it. Also note that Max Elixir can attach metal energy as well. So you have a metal energy acceleration option here. Next is Parallel City. So if you guys don't know what Parallel City does, choose which when you put this down, you choose which way the card faces before you play it. One of the sides, if this side is on you, any damage done by attacks from this side's player's Pokemon that are Grass, Fire, or Water is reduced by 20, and the other side is this player's bench is reduced to a maximum of 3 Pokemon. So you could play this to better your matchup against the mirror, or you can play it so it doesn't get played against you, or both. Because like I said, having a Malamar Necrozma deck being limited to 3 is really rough, and that's why we play those Field Blowers, to get rid of Parallel Cities and Garbotoxins. But you could also play Parallel Cities so they can't replace your Parallel City with their own, because you can't play a Stadium card that is already in play. My last suggestion is you could just add some more basic energy cards. So if you do choose to try out Max Elixir, you could always just add some more basic energy cards. Maybe a 4th metal, maybe a 4th metal and an 8th psychic. But those are all of my suggestions for filling out the deck at this time. Not really any crazy text, just you know, cards that I think fit really well in this deck that you can pick and choose between and find the count that works out the best for you. So now this is the list that I have been testing, and this list will also be in the description below if you would like to import it into your Pokemon TCGO. So I have chosen to go with the 2 Ultra Necrozma, 2 Dawnwings Necrozma. I have added the Giratina. I am playing 4/4 Malamar, 1 Mew, and 2 Tapu Lele-GX. 2 Beast Ring, 3 Field Blower. I have added the 3 Max Elixir, and I love it. 4 Mysterious Treasure, 1 Super Rod. I added an Ultra Ball, so I'm playing 3. 1 Brigette, 2 Cynthia, 3 Guzma, 1 Lillie, 2 N, 4 Sycamore, 1 Choice Band, 2 Float Stone, 1 Beast Energy, and my last addition is I added a Metal Energy, so I'm playing 4 Metal Energy and 7 Psychic Energy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think, and let me know what Forbidden Light decks you want to see more coverage on. Don't forget that you can visit flipsidegaming.com and use my code all caps Celio, CELIO, for 10% off of your next order, $10 or more. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.